to do my best to film this despite the fact that my neighbor is weed whacking at the time of day when the light is just right. This is my prairie project, which I've done a video about before. I was out here when the field was pretty much bare. We had just laid the wood chips down in the soil. Those are little areas with 1 to 2 gallons worth of soil in them. So this is an area where this area here has not had anything done to it. As you can see, there's things like kochia. This is an invasive weed, but we're gonna get to it. I can't do everything all at once, but this isn't even very bad. This area was just choked with invasives when we started this project, so it's a vast improvement. So we laid cardboard down. Ginger, shh. Laid the wood chips down that we got from Chip Drop for free. Put the soil down, which I think I spent $140 total for this very large area on soil, and that's because I only put soil in kind of these pots. We scooped out the wood chips, added the soil, and we planted only in those areas, assuming these plants would drop seed and spread out over time. It saves a lot of money, and it prevents you from having a lot of weed seeds take root right away, because the top layer for now is just this loose mulch. So it gives you a little more leeway, a little more time. So this is yarrow. This was the first thing here. This was the only thing in the field that was worth saving, except it wasn't nearly this large of a patch. And I mean, it was maybe 1/6 to 1/8 the size of this patch now. This is yarrow here too. It's just been cut down because these have gone, the seeds have matured on these. And I want to continue filling this field with more natives. So I cut down the stalks so that these will bloom again. These will shoot up some more fresh leaves and stems and blooms. And then I take these and here's an example. I laid these out the other day. It's been so hot and dry, they already look cooked, but you can see in the ground that these seeds just fall right in the ground. And in fact, I can pick this up and put it over here and drop some more seed there. This is some native lupin. I have this in my yard already. It was growing naturally. I just took some of the seeds off of some of the plants that I had and put them over here. And biliatris, which have not bloomed yet, but I'm getting excited for those. This is a cowpen daisy. These were here last year, but in small quantities just in this area. So I spread the seed around, and I have there are quite a few of them now. Let me go through here and check out some of the other things. This is a larger sunflower. I couldn't tell you what variety. I just had a lot of sunflower seeds, and so some of them I just brought out here because I had extras and figured why not. Can never go wrong with sunflowers. I actually don't know the name of this plant. I checked with a native plant page that's on Facebook that I use a lot. I know I checked these last year, and I'm pretty sure that these are native. I'm going to have to double check again just to make sure that I don't let something flower that is not native or is invasive. As far as I remember, this has a lot of really beautiful white blooms in the fall. This is Tithonia. Here's a Tithonia that's much bigger and has started flowering. Let's see here. This is yellow hairy aster. That's a native plant. I have a lot of yellow hairy aster, and it's actually one of the things I'm encouraging to grow throughout most of my field because it stays low to the ground, so I don't really have to mow it, and it smothers out things like bindweed really well. So I'm pretty happy with that. And it seeds like crazy. I have areas of that where I just keep spreading the seed and kind of getting more like a yellow carpet effect. This is native Indian grass. It's looking good. There's a nice Tithonia right there. Those are just getting started. So in the next week or so, I imagine I'm going to have a lot of bright orange blooms out here. Here they are. And from what I understand, these get really, really tall. So this is what I was looking for here. If you can see how dense the growth is in here. You know, I had a big problem with invasives out here. I had thistle, I had Canadian thistle, I had leafy spurge, which is kind of a nightmare. I had a lot of bindweed. So I'm looking for plants to put out here that mostly are native, and most of these are native, but I am also willing to have plants that aren't invasive, but if they're not native and they grow aggressively, hold on, and they grow aggressively, then I put them in here, because my ultimate goal is to smother these really stubborn ones out. And later on, if I want to switch over to more natives, it will be easier if I at least have a good, you know, that I've gotten rid of most of the really invasive stuff by doing this, by letting it smother it. So this is scarlet globe mallow. I have a lot of this growing in my field, and I just keep, you know, getting the seeds from it and spreading them. And you know, it's a native plant. When it's in full bloom, which you know, it was really going gangbusters about a month ago, it was just, you know, bright orange. Okay, so here is looking down this side. You'll have to excuse things like the orange buckets. I have been out here pulling weeds today. You know, this is growing really nicely though. What I wanted to have out here was a lot of coverage of plants to snuff out the invasive plants, but I also wanted to have, you know, some blank spaces. This is kind of more than I want, but this is a tithonia here, which is going to get very big, and those are as well. But I wanted to have just, you know, a little bit of space so that I could get in here and take care of this jungle. But I imagine when this area over here gets a little bigger, it's probably going to look a little bit more like this area here that is very dense, which is exactly what I was hoping for. I think it'll be great for wildlife and great to keep the weeds down that I don't want. So we were talking about scarlet globe mallow. Here's a spot here where whatever I put here didn't work, so I will be planting it again. And this is a very tiny leafy spurge. I just, you know, when I'm walking through here, I just keep plucking these out if they pop up, and you know, over time I will stop seeing them, I suppose. Just takes persistence. So here again, here's some cowpen daisy mixed in with, these are our native sunflowers. These were growing on my property, and I just keep spreading the seed. I didn't start with very many of them, but I sure have a lot of them now, not just here but also in other areas of my yard. The goldfinches have just started to arrive, and they absolutely love these sunflowers. And you know, they're yellow and brown, so actually when you're looking at some of these sunflowers, you can't even see the birds because they're so well camouflaged. And then, you know, when they all decide to fly up at once, that's when you realize it's full of goldfinches. So here's a little empty space. I'm sure this will fill in as well. Here's some yarrow, you know, yarrow stems that I trimmed earlier, and the seed will just kind of fall. I don't want to go too crazy with the yarrow here because it's really good at smothering, but I don't want it to smother everything. So I will probably be relocating some of that out into, you know, the rest of my field. Thankfully, that other side doesn't really have a lot of invasives, but I wouldn't mind having some other things over there. I don't think I need to go to the effort to smother things out that I went here with the cardboard and wood chips, which is helpful, but when I clip stems, some of them I've been putting, you know, over there into like sort of blank spots. So this little thing here is actually a native plant. This is in the pea family. I can't remember its exact name. I've been pulling them for now, only because even though I want natives, these do not grow very dense, and I'm kind of trying to allow some of these other plants to get going first. I figure these can fill in any open spots that are left at the end. But for now, I'm pulling them just so that I can continue to make room for the stuff that's really gonna snuff out my invasive. So here, here is where I've got to pay attention to these things. This is my yarrow, of course, but hiding in here is this horribly noxious leafy spurge, and I am going to pull it out right now. It's very sneaky. Thankfully, it has taken a really long time to pop up out of this yarrow because it is just getting smothered by all of this, which is exactly what I wanted. So it is working. Okay, so I'm going to carry on here. Some more sunflowers, more cowpen daisies, more tithonia, and more scarlet globe mallow. Unfortunately, I do have a picture of this from earlier. I will maybe weave it into this video. This is scarlet flax, and it has gone to sleep for the day. During the day, it is red and beautiful. So I think what I will do is just pop a photo of it from earlier today into this video so that you can see it. It's the first time I've grown it. It's not completely native, but blue flax is native here, and this isn't considered invasive here. So I have to say, I planted this seed in April, and I've got this pretty decent sized shrub at this point, and I really like these. They're really pretty. Okay, some more globe mallow, and I'm just going to orient myself here with my camera, where I am. So that's the space. This is fennel. It's not native, but it's not invasive either. And I planted it for the swallowtail butterflies. I'm hoping they will find that. And I have this big patch of bachelor button, which is also not native, but it's not invasive in Colorado. I've never had my bachelor buttons escape like a garden bed. They need more water than we get here. So the leach field has more water than the rest of the field because of what it is. So they do fine here, but I don't expect that I'm going to have an issue with them escaping at all. So there's a nice little sunflower there. And then I have some salvia. I know there's some Queen Anne's thimble in here too. It is coming along. It has taken a little bit longer to get started. There it is. It has these little purple flowers on it. That is native. This one fell over. That one's standing up nice and tall. And that's a strawberry. There are wild strawberries native to Colorado, but these are actually strawberries that came from my garden. I had a lot of extras when I was thinning them out, and I have an issue with birds eating the strawberries out of my garden, so I thought if I planted strawberries out here, maybe they would be willing to come and, eat it out here. This is purple lovegrass. Or actually, yeah, that's what that is, purple lovegrass. And here's some more yarrow, which was started from seed from the other area. I spread seed out here, and this popped up, and it's looking great. Here's another Queen Anne's thimble. So there it is. There's the whole thing. It's coming right along. Been a lot of work, but really worth it.